Okay, this is Rock. I'm your divorce strategist. As you can see, I'm not too excited. Why? Because it's really tearing off a lot of scabs talking about this, talking about strategy, talking about divorce, and it's just hard. So today we're going to talk about something very, very important. My last session was basically the process of hiring an attorney. The last resort is to hire an attorney. But I got steps that you could take into consideration because sometimes you're forced. Let's start with number one. If you have a spouse that asks for a divorce, or you're going to ask for a divorce, hopefully you're not involved with anybody. Okay? Hopefully you didn't commit adultery. All right? They call it infidelity. I call it adultery. All right? Because God's got their rules too. And as you know, the state don't care. The state don't care. But if you have a spouse that you could actually trust and that you could open up and say, listen, we both accept that we're going to go through a divorce. It's hard, but I would highly recommend get therapy. My first wife and I, we went to therapy for less than an hour. And that hour was, she had already made up her mind. It was done. I was so shocked. I was out of position. I was reacting to everything. Okay? So I didn't have a chance. The second marriage, we were in therapy, couples therapy with no kids for 4 or 5 sessions every other year. Oh, yeah. It was always the same. She was going to get better. She was going to be honest. She was not going to lie. It never worked. And I was a sucker. You know, I believed it. I thought she was going to work things out and never changed. And that's what I'm trying to say. If somebody's asking you for a divorce, the first suggestion, trust, transparency, let's get out as soon as we can and get therapy, okay? Because you could actually plan this and plan it without your spouse. Bring somebody that's objective, that understands. And don't forget, you start with the money. Yeah, you start with the money. Forget about the emotions and the boyfriend and the girlfriend and forget all that. Don't forget, you might have kids. Now, there are attorneys that are called collaboration divorce attorneys. No litigation. Their goal is to bring the both of you to settle so you don't go into litigation. It's like mediation. If that option is open, do not file either party. But they got to understand the other party. A lot of times they're so coached, if they think there's just money behind it because you're being told he's got money, she's got money or whatever, you're going to get this, you're going to get alimony, you're going to get child support. Of course, that's all negotiable. But if I had the knowledge, because I think I'm a hell of a negotiator, but guess what? I didn't have the opportunity because it takes two to tangle. And she wasn't interested in tangling. So I had to hire an attorney. But I wish, and this is what I'm recommending to you. Don't hire an attorney if you can. The biggest thing is you got to accept that there's a divorce on the way. I try to have a theme of my sessions. This one is going to be a group called Yes. And the title of the song was Owner of a Lonely Heart. Do you remember that? Actually try to listen to it before, because music would motivate me, inspire me, good and bad. But sometimes you got to get ready for battles, like sports. You go to a sporting event, there's music in between, rock and roll. Look at these celebrities. Hey, we want our privacy and we got back together. What happened soon after that? Seriously. It doesn't work. And the younger you are, the better. Because your future is in front of you. And you're going to go through a lot of hiccups. And it might screw up your job. It might screw up your relationship with your kids. You're going to have a whole new world. One of my recommendations is don't date. Don't do any of that shit. You're scaling down. And you're going to have a lonely heart. You're the owner of a lonely heart. Okay? So, you got to focus, man. You got to focus. Remember, bifurcate. Bifurcate. That's half the battle. Because you're not fighting about getting divorced. Who's fighting about divorce? No, I want a divorce. Don't sit there and fight for a divorce. It's going to happen. Because behind the scenes, something happened. Somebody thought about this for years, saying, I'm going to get a divorce. I'm unhappy. I'm not committed anymore. I'm worried about my money. I'm worried about my future. Who's going to take care of me? What type of job does he have or she have? I got a friend. I got a friend that's going to help me through this. There's no doubt in my mind. Both my ex-wives had coaching. And I thought I knew the system. I did not know the system. So I just saved you $50,000 to $100,000, maybe more, just by saying, take it, collaboration, work with them, mediation, know your money. Even if they hire an attorney, go pro bono. You could go on YouTube and learn all this shit. You could get an attorney to even help you with the documentation. I have a friend now that's a mediator. He could have coached me all the way through this. And I would have just took a slapping and represented myself, because you don't go in front of the judge. You're in front of an attorney that doesn't know shit. They just want to know, here's my fee. You're going to end up paying her fees for sure, but you know what? You could speed it up. So I'm giving you really good information. The younger you are, the better. And know the rules of alimony, because that's all you're going to fight about. You're going to fight about assets on the first marriage, child support, and alimony, if it's even discussed. Because Florida's got different ways of paying alimony and different terms. It's how many years you're married and the percentage. Face it. That's why I'm saying, I wish I would have known this, and I would have divorced in those first 2 years. But it was my Catholic religion. It was my parents. I was ashamed. I wanted to work it out. I knew within 3 months, when she quit her jobs, it cost me a fortune. I don't even want to talk about it. And the first one was I really got fucked, because I got stuck in the state of Minnesota with lifetime support. I had to negotiate that. Yeah. Because people make mistakes too. I'm talking about the system. Attorneys, judges, all that shit. They don't care. You think a judge is going to really look at the history? If you look at your history, your chronological history of dating and marrying and marriage and the wedding, when the babies are born, come on. So you got to focus. That's what it takes. It takes toughness, man. It's focus. It's discipline. It's patience. It's knowing the game. But the attorneys are going to tell you, oh, you need all this. You need depositions. You need this. You need discovery. You need to know their assets. They go through all the documentation. It's a waste of time. I'm giving you from A to Z to get this fucking shit done. This is for the people that are thinking about a divorce or in the process. Shut it down and get out of the system ASAP. You're going to live through this. My dad used to say to me, at least it wasn't arms and legs. He was right. It's your mind. It's the trauma. You know how they say war veterans go through mental scars? Well, marriages do it too. If you pick the wrong horse. How many times do I have to say it? Pick the wrong horse. And, you could fuck up your reputation. You could fuck up your community. There's a lot of bad shit, man. And I know a lot of guys, because I've been in men's group and so on for grieving and that, a lot of guys, it's so sad when, they find out that there was infidelity from the church or their best friends. That's why my father used to tell us, be careful of your friends. You know what? Yeah. Talk about swapping. Swapping happens. You got to be careful, man. And it is so fucking painful when you get cheated on. I'm getting comments, YouTube and emails and calls. Rock, how'd you do it? How'd you do it to get through adultery and betrayal and infidelity and all that? You got to take care of yourself. Because if you take care of yourself, you take care of your kids. Because you're in the protection mode now. And if you could cut that cancer out, cut it out, man. And being lonely is a lot better than committing suicide. I have to say it because I know people that have attempted suicide or ended up in a mental institution or start drinking, lose faith, lose their image, lose their kids. I'm just telling you that. Now you go on YouTube, you're not going to hear this from an attorney. You're not going to hear this from a mediator. You're not going to hear this from a tax accountant or a collaboration divorce attorney. They're all looking for money. I'm not looking for money. I'm saying these are my scars that I don't want you to go through this. There's a long-term effect too on kids. They say, oh, they're resilient. They get through it. Yeah, maybe in the first 18 years, and then they got fucking bitterness and they have relationship problems, and then it comes out. My mom was this. My dad was that. Tough shit, man. Tough shit. So that's what I'm going to try to tell you is the last resort is to hire a fucking attorney. My other videos, attorneys in my mind, is the firm Dick and Dick. That's what I'm naming them. Dick and Dick. Law firm. They don't give a fuck about you. That's what happened to me when I said, listen, I'm not going to court. I'm going to cut a deal. Here's my proposal. Present it. And she fucking fired me. Fired me because I was going to cut my own deal. Attorneys are just administrators. That's all. They're not friends. They're not negotiators. They're not strategists. They're not business people. They don't know shit except what they're going to bill every month. It only gets worse if you're the breadwinner because they're going to send it over to the other attorney and they cut a deal. You're going to pay. That's not even including alimony yet. That's where I ended up. Alimony. Because I was successful. So don't forget. If you could sit your spouse down. I tried with my second wife. I sat down with her, had dinner with her. And that's when I realized, when she started talking about, I have rights. I want to be independent and free. She wasn't independent and free the 12 years I was married to her. And then I paid her another 3 years for alimony. Yeah. My first wife, I had, I think it was 18 years of alimony. I've 2 wives. I was married 24 years, legally married 24 years, and I had legally obligations of alimony for 20 years. Yeah, it could happen to you. Jurisdiction's important. What state you were married. You got to get somebody to work with you. So going back to number 1, you got to trust them. You got to be transparent. No games. Here's the money. Here's the money. Because if there's a tweak of or indication that there was deceit in the financials, oh man, no good. Timeline. If you can get divorced in months, do it. If it costs you another $50,000, do it. Why? Because you don't want to get stuck with long-term payments. You don't want to, and attorney fees. Okay? So that's important. The next step is, during this time, before you make that proposal, you're seeing therapy, individuals therapy. Fuck couples therapy. It's done. It's done. They're being coached. Okay? Therapy. The other one is propose, collaboration attorney, mediator, like therapy. You pick the mediator and you work it out. Because some people, that's their fiduciary duty. That's their goal, is to work something out before you go into litigation. Mediators could cost $400 or $500, but they can't decide anything. You have to decide. The couple's got to make a decision. So if there's any way that you have good knowledge of your finances, confidence in your abilities to negotiate and do things right, don't hurt the kids, give them what they want. You want the house? Fine. You want the kids full-time? Fine. Okay? I just want visitation. Let's write this up. You could have the house. I'd rather have money. If you got money, I'll take the money. I'll take my pension plan. I'll take this. I mean, that's all discussed. Okay? Everything will be discussed. Who gets the cars? Who gets whatever. Okay? Now, this is all pro bono. So you're representing yourself. You could have a coach on the side. I would be like a coach for you and say, okay, here's every little thing. But you can learn all this on YouTube now. But if you're on a fast track, you got to go for it, man. You got to go for it. All right? So I'm going to leave you with that. This is a good session. Okay? There's no fluff here. Don't forget, what was that theme song? Owner of a Lonely Heart. Okay? And this is my divorce strategy, is I wish I knew before hiring an attorney. Okay? I'll talk to you soon. I'm Rock, your DS, your divorce strategist, and I'll be talking to you soon. I'll be back with the next session. You have any questions? You have any comments? Give them to me. Good or bad, it's okay. I'm not using names. You want to call me? Call me. Everything's on my my contact information. Not a problem. Everything's strictly confidential. But please, give me a like, give me a thumbs down, whatever. Keep engaged. It helps. Okay? It all helps, and it keeps me going. All right? God bless you. I'll talk to you soon. Always bring joy.